what I found is most investors and commercial brokers just don't know what they don't know, just like I didn't when I got over there. And it's a matter of educating yourself and getting yourself up to speed, which doesn't take very long, by the way. Once you start on that learning curve, it goes pretty quick. But it's more of a system that I put together. And what happened was we ended up buying some big portfolios. We bought a 1.8 million square foot portfolio from Sam Zell of equity office properties, four large office properties in Dallas. And then we bought a 2.2 million square foot portfolio from Transwestern with 4 buildings in Chicago and 3 buildings in Dallas. And we had to do that 30-day due diligence, 30-day close. So you really have to be on your game when you're doing that type of due diligence, because what happens is these guys are pros, professional sellers. And if you're not on your game, believe me, things will come back to haunt you and bite you later on. So you really need to know what you're looking for. I learned some of my biggest lessons from working with the professional groups out there. So, and I tell people, look, you can't assume anything. What happens is when you say, what kind of due diligence are you doing? Well, I'll show up at the building when the contractor goes there and he inspects it. Okay, what else are you doing? Well, I do some market studies and I get the brokers to come up with some stuff. And okay, what else are you doing? And, there's about a couple of 3 more things. And then that's kind of it, and it's like, you're scratching the surface here. Okay. Because believe me, if you're not drilling down and pulling back all the layers here, there's some valuable things that you're leaving out. And it's very hard to do if you don't have a process and a system, because I tell people, by having and adhering to a proven system when you're doing due diligence, it allows you to do it faster, easier, more efficiently, and you're a lot less likely to miss something. So you want to be not stressed when you're going through this stuff, because most people think about this. Most people are buying an investment property and there's a lot of things going on. If you're a syndicator, well, you might have some help, right? You might have a few more people in your office helping you or whatever, helping you get it done. But if you're not, you're doing this like on the side while you're doing your job or whatever the case may be, right? And you've got to go through the due diligence, physical, mechanical. You got to go through the market stuff. You got to apply for the loan. You got to get the appraisal done. You got to negotiate with the seller. There's all these things, talk to the tenants, all this stuff. So it's like, you really got to make sure that things aren't slipping through the cracks, because what happens is if you're talking to a property manager or a seller and you say, I really need the backup information on that. Okay, I'm going to get that for you. When are you going to have it for me? I'm going to have it by Thursday. Okay, you write that down or whatever. All right. Well, then what happens? 5 more things come up in the next day or so that you need to get answers on. Right now, some of these are taking priority over the last thing you asked for. So now you're worried about getting that stuff. And if you don't have a tracking system, what happens? Things start falling through the crack, right? Or you might get back to it and say, hey, I thought you were going to get me that thing on Thursday. That's right. I promise you, I'll have that to you on Tuesday. I did ask. They're looking it up, and and what happens? That happens all the way down through the period. So you get to the end. Now you got 19 or 28 things or whatever on your list that you're looking for to get answers to. And in the meantime, the heat's been turned up because you want to make sure you get your loan approved. You want to make sure the appraisal's going through. There's just too many things going on. So you really need a system and a process to go through that. And that's what I ended up putting together for myself, because it just got to the point, we just had a little team and it was very stressful. So I wanted to make sure that I knew I had a to-do list and a system that went through, so I knew what my next thing that I had to get done, and delegate. Okay, I need you to go do this or whatever. And then that's how I came up with it. Then by accident, really, when I got back into the brokerage end of it in 2012, I decided I was going to take the reference manual I have and morph it into a investor handbook, and that's how things got started. I never thought it was its sell one copy, so I didn't even get it formatted or anything, and then it ended up becoming a #1 bestseller on Amazon.